Doesn't he work for you? Wes Farrell was on his schlumpy way up toward Columbus and the North Beach walk-up out of which he ran his law business. Dooher lingered in the doorway at Fior d'Italia, then turned and went back inside to the bar, where he ordered a Pellegrino. He sipped the bottled water and considered his reflection in the bar's mirror. He still looked good. He had his hair, the light brown streaked with blonde, camouflaging the hint of gray that was only just beginning to appear around the temples. The skin of his face was as unlined as it had been at 30. Now, at 46, he knew he looked 10 years younger, which was enough. Any more youth would be bad for business. His body carried 180 pounds on a 6-foot frame. Today he wore a tailored Italian double-breasted suit in a refined shade of green that picked up the flecks in his eyes. From where he sat at the bar, he could watch her in profile. She had loosened up somewhat, but Wes had been right. There was a tension in the way she sat, in her body language. The man with her was Joe Avery. Again, Wes had nailed it. A 6th-year associate at McCabe & Roth, the firm Dooher managed. McCabe & Roth both had been forced to retire during the downsizing of the past 2 years. Now, in spite of the name, it was Dooher's firm, beginning to show profit again. He drank his Italian water, looked at himself in the mirror over the bar. What was he doing here? He couldn't allow himself to leave. This was something he thought he'd outgrown long ago. Such an overwhelming physical attraction. Oh, sure, when he'd been younger, in college a couple of times. Even the first few years of the marriage, the occasional dalliance, stepping out, somebody coming on to him, usually on a business trip or one of the firm retreats. But that had stopped after the one crisis, Sheila getting wind of what was going on with one of them. She wasn't going to have it. Infidelity wasn't going to be part of their lives. Dooher had better decide whether he wanted to sleep around or keep the kids. 100 times since, he wished he'd let Sheila go, taking the kids with her. But in truth, back then, 15 years ago, he was already unable to risk a divorce, already working with some of the charities, the archdiocese itself. There was big money there, clean work, and Sheila would have scotched it if things had gotten ugly. He knew she would have, as she would today. So he'd simply put his hormones out of his mind, put all of his effort into real life, work, the wife, the kids, the house. He would be satisfied with the 10, 15, 20 days of vacation, the new car. Everyone else seemed to survive in that secure, between-the-lines adult existence. It wasn't so bad. Except Mark Dooher hated it. He never got over hating it. He had never had to play by the same rules as everyone else. He was simply better at everything, smarter, more charismatic. He deserved more. He deserved better. That couldn't be all there was. Do your job, live the routine, get old, die. That couldn't be it. Not for him. He couldn't get the woman off his mind. Well, they would just have to do it, that was all. He'd call up his fabled discipline and simply will her out of his consciousness. There was nothing to be done with her anyway. Dooher didn't trust the dynamic of lust, that hormonal rush, and then the long regret. He wasn't about to get involved with all that. It was better just to stop thinking about her, or at least not get confused, keep it in the realm of fantasy. It wasn't as if he knew anything about her, as if there could be real attraction. In fact, if that turned out to be the case, it would be far more complicated. Then what? Leave Sheila? No, it was better not to pursue it at all. He was just in one of his funks, believing that the opportunity that would give his life new meaning was passing him by. He knew better. In reality, everything disappointed. Nothing turned out as you hoped. He'd just suck it up and put her out of his mind, do nothing about the fantasy. He didn't even want to take one